I'm kind of stuck here. This might be a good campground. The cops won't bother me. Just took my first crash here. Hey guys, going for a ride, and I checked my tire pressure on the dark side tire. It was kind of low. Eating at the Burtonsville car meet. Right through. Here we are at the car meet in Burtonsville. Well, I waited for 46 minutes and he didn't show up. I'm not really surprised. A lot of people cancel. I bet if I go to my computer, there's an email. My first stop was Ellicott City, and Ellicott City had a pretty major flood where one person even got killed. I wanted to see what the downtown was after a couple of weeks of this, and I tried to make it in there, but it was pretty closed off. You really couldn't get into downtown. These are on top of the hill going down to the historic district, and it seems that no cars can get through. There's police barricades everywhere. Guys, we are around Baltimore. It's like the suburbs of Baltimore. I don't know much about this area, so I'm riding through some residential zones. It's kind of cool. I do like sometimes just doing an urban ride and seeing various things. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to head to Baltimore and see what is there to see there. One of the things that surprises me about Baltimore is that from one block to the other it looks completely different. This area right now is like full of really nice houses, and they all look pretty darn expensive, with like slate roofs, like just incredible wealth it seems. And of course this guy doesn't see it's a one-way bridge, and I took my turn but he didn't take his turn. These houses are really cool. All of this area seems to be really good for riding, but one of the things I don't like about Maryland roads is that there's too many driveways everywhere and you can't really go fast. Virginia, on the other hand, there's less driveways, there's less people to like go into your way and like, you know, crash into you. And it seems that Maryland riders and drivers are a lot worse. I don't know much about this area, but I think this is it. Look, Towson, right over there. Riding around here makes me think that Baltimore is really not what most people think of, especially if you live in the DC area. You think of Baltimore as kind of this urban jungle, but there's like so much wealth near here, especially around Towson and Pikesville. There's like tons of like great areas to live, but we think of Baltimore as this like murder capital of the United States. Going from like modest neighborhoods to expensive neighborhoods, you see this house, for example, 5-car garage. Pretty incredible. The only time you see this sort of stuff is in Potomac, Maryland, or the Caloramas in DC. I had a lot of these roads for myself. This is around the Loch Raven Reservoir. In the morning it was actually very comfortable to ride, but you can see here, this is Loch Raven. I didn't realize here, to the left it's blocked off with a parked police car and barricades and stuff. So I don't know what's over there. I think I have ridden by this area before. It's just a park area. And here's the dam. So after Pikesville and Towson, I decided to head east, and east you definitely get to see a lot more poor houses. For example, this is a very low income looking area, and there's this part called Sparrow Point. It's an Amazon distribution center. So I've decided to stop at Sparrow's Point, which is there's an Amazon distribution center right over there. It's an industrial place. It's a dock near the water in Baltimore, near Dundalk. And one thing I noticed today, you know, the tire's running really well, but on the gravel like this, it is pretty bad.
It's like a jungle sometimes.
We have arrived in the real Baltimore. This area is pretty incredible with tons of boarded up houses. A lot of Baltimore is like this. It's slightly improving, but a lot of Baltimore is this. These row homes that cost like $5,000. A lot of them are boarded up. There's nothing like riding a motorcycle through the streets of Baltimore. There's like a lot of freedom that you can do anything that you want. It's very unlike the DC area.
Junkies in the alley with the baseball bat. I tried to get away, but I couldn't get far, cause a man with the touch of repossessed my car. So push me, cause I'm close to the
It's funny, like these one-ways in Baltimore just kind of spring up.
Lose my head. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. Standing on the front stoop, hanging out the window, watching all the cars go by, roaring as the breeze is blowing. Crazy lady.
You know, the downtown of Baltimore is surprisingly beautiful. There's like tons of really great restaurants, tons of like art schools, art studios, there's museums, there's businesses, there's like everything that you want in a little city. Well, it's a big city, but if you want to live in a city that's affordable, Baltimore is a very affordable city. And it's got a lot of stuff. I mean, you're really close to the nation's capital. You're very close to Philadelphia. You have a lot to go for you if you live in Baltimore. The only downside is that Baltimore is like one of those murder capitals. It really is pretty insane the amount of people that get killed here. Their stats always like brought up, and Baltimore is usually like second on the list of the top 100 cities that have the highest murder rates.
Can't take the train to the job. There's a strike at the station. On King Kong standing on my back, can't stop to turn around. Broke my sacroiliac, a mid-range migraine, cancer, membrane. Sometimes I think I'm going insane. I swear I might hijack a plane. Don't push me, call, close to the edge. Try.
This is the downtown Fells Point. And you can see the cobblestone streets. Really just means that this is more the touristy area. People come here to party and drink. And this is generally like a very expensive area. And it's very rough to ride a motorcycle through here. These stones, even though they're all over Europe, they're very slippery in the rain. So you have to go pretty slow through here. There's not that many people, surprisingly, here today. For some reason, it was pretty empty. Mainly because it starts to get hot. Baltimore, on a very hot day, is a torture rack. It really is tough. The one thing I wanted to see here in Baltimore is Patterson Park. I've seen it on a map, and I heard it's a great investment area, and it really looks like it's been very gentrified. It looks very hip. A lot of the younger people are moving to this area instead of Fells Point. So to the right here is Patterson Park, and I didn't realize you can't really like drive through it, but if you look at the houses on the left, they're all really cleaned up, and the real estate around here is still somewhat affordable. You can get something for like $200,000 to $300,000, and in comparison to DC, you can only get something of that value, of that size, for like $700,000 in DC. So $300,000 in Baltimore, $700,000 in DC. And it is a really cool area. There's like tons of people out in this park, and it looks like a really good park to hang out in a summer day.
It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
A child is born with no state of mind, blind to the ways of mankind. God is smiling on you, but he's frowning too, because only God knows what you'll go through. You'll grow in the ghetto, living second rate, and your eyes will sing a song of deep hate.
Well guys, I hope you enjoyed Baltimore. I'll see you in the next video.